You don't have to drop it anymore.
See, like you would think that would be.
I just dropped that ass.
Yes. So starting today,
doesn't
we
have-
will be sacrificing at least 1 or 2 pigeons to the microphone gods. Eventually, we will get Enigma to be able to center himself on his camera. He loves to sit off to the side so we can see his very expensive studio closet doors behind him. He lives in 80 square feet. He uses a bucket for a toilet. He uses Insta shower in a box. You know, the perfect bachelor, ladies. I give you bachelor number 1, Telemex. And what's really funny is he does this shit when he runs his Titans revival game too. He'll be like off to the side, being all fucking silly and shit. Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. So I don't know if this is copyright material night, but it's hump day. Is that copyrighted? Are we allowed to call Wednesday hump day still? Is that still a thing?
Yes.
From us.
During the pandemic, are we allowed
People
to
over 30, yes.
That's been canceled. It's been
Can't
canceled.
say
now.
that.
We're not allowed to say that anymore.
There's
Just
no
Calimax can't say it because he's under 30.
In that
we
case,
can't.
I'm going to steal Howard Stern's reference. It's bang o'clock. Is it bang o'clock yet?
No, I don't like that one.
Yes! It's definitely bang o'clock.
I like bang o'clock. I like Starbucks, and I like Baton. Baton's good. So I've been watching the latest, most popular documentary. I recommend all of you watch this amazing documentary. It's so amazing to watch because it was such a predictive documentary. It's called Idiocracy.
It's called Idiocracy.
Yeah.
Can you see how many more times you say amazing while describing it?
It's amazing, simply amazing. And the amazing day of the most amazing moment of the most amazing hour, it was amazing.
See, I was just waiting for you to recommend us all to go get lattes.
And McAllen and Kiki Lee will be sharing a single microphone tonight because, well, it's the microphone gods. I don't know how else we put it or state it. So, hey, everybody, welcome to Wednesday night. Welcome to the Descendants. Before we recap, just a quick reminder about TTRPG Academy. Everything you need to know about us is down below in the abouts. We have links to our Discord, and on our Discord, we teach, learn, play RPGs. We also give away dice in the Bring Your Dice channel, and we also give away miniatures in the Miniature channel. We do that every Friday, so jump on in and have some fun. We have all of our past episodes, although I'm not publishing much on the Descendants yet, as we are a newer campaign and very much an alternate theme campaign. We'll get to that in a minute. But we have shows Monday night, Tuesday night, tonight, Wednesday night. We have upcoming live shows potentially Thursday and Sunday, Thursday nights, Sunday morning. I'm still assembling players for those campaigns. We have Friday night and we have Sunday night. So lots of games to watch and learn and participate in. So it's lots of fun. If you like to spend Jeff Bezos money, please use your Prime subscription to support us. That would be great. Other than that, just follow us and hang out and have a good time. No big deal. We have Patreons, we have YouTubes for all of our past episodes for our other shows. We have our library of shows in the Twitch channel, so feel free. Also, visit some of our other creators. They are down in the panel links down below. You can also see our Discord activity down below as well. So, hey, come hang out, or just hang out, or don't hang out. It's all cool. So, with that, a brief synopsis, a reminder, before we do our recap of the Descendants. The Descendants is a alternate theme, alt history campaign, and it takes place in the 1920s in Southwest United States. It also collides with the D&D universe. It also collides with the Cthulhu Mythos universe. We are borrowing some mechanics from Mage the Ascension. And we're also borrowing some of the origin mechanics of Cortex. I'm still reading more on Cortex. I'm still deciding whether or not to include more on that. We have a lot of custom and homebrew themes. This is a very different way to kind of take the 5e mechanics and the other mechanics of other types of games and just kind of bring them all together, produce your own theme, and play out a campaign. So it's also got a very kind of heavy steampunk vibe, which I mostly derive from the fact that I really like the artificer class in the 5e mechanics. And an artificer to me in the 1920s alt-US feels very steampunky to me. And we've actually already had in episode 0 and episode 1 some kind of steampunky integrations already. So with that, let's go around the table really quick. Richard, tell us about your character.
Hello, my name's Richard. My character's name is Random Ward. His friends call him Dummy, but only his friends. So if anybody else calls him Dummy and he's not their friend, then he might get offended. But yeah, he's a level 3 barbarian. He likes to rage.
And what's his favorite weapon of choice?
He likes to use his Tommy gun, which has an engraving on it. And it's on the side it says a great sword.
It's like from the movie Romeo and Juliet with
Yeah.
That's so good.
Where is my great long sword?
Jesse, tell us about Caldev.
So I'm Jessie. I am playing Caldev, who is a water nymph wizard. She is part of the Actors Guild till she ran away for her discovery or semi-discovery of her use of magic. She ended up with this motley crew and is still trying to find the soup from 2 episodes ago. She smelled soup when we walked through the magic chamber, and she has not been given any soup.
Yeah, it happens.
But unlike my character, well, I guess like my character, I don't have my food tonight. First night.
Right, let me show you guys. I have
it. Teresa's like, just cruel. Colin, tell us about McAllen.
So I am playing McAllen. He is a Furbolg investigator. He's also a former bare knuckle boxer. He's about 100 years old. He's made a reputation for himself just since he was growing up in a rough area, you know, kind of taking it upon himself to solve the disappearances going on. And that basically his notoriety has gotten the attention of this government agency who wants to use my skills to try and figure out this mystery.
Very cool. Teresa, tell us about Kiki Lee.
Hi, I'm Kiki Lee. I'm an alien.
And awkward as fuck.
It looks like I'm just talking to Colin because he's right here.
You just have to lean this way. You don't actually have to.
We can actually hear you fine from your seat.
That
Okay.
intro.
Yes, I'm an alien, illegal alien of Earth. I'm from the planet Mbop. And I'm just here to study humans and Earthlings now to be more inclusive because Earth is populated by more than just humans. So Earthlings, here to study living creatures on Earth and take back all the information to my home planet. Just for research. For science. Yay, science.
For science. And Enigma, tell us about Calimex.
Listen, I just want you guys to know, Calimex is a doctor. Okay? He's just a doctor. And he's clearly doing his job very well with this group. Right? He's doing his job really, really well. Don't let any of them tell you I'm doing it wrong. They're liars. and I've kept everyone alive.
And he's clearly not a 5,000-year-old dragon.
No, I am not a 3,462-year-old dragon at all. I'm not.
He's lying. He's 500.
You're also the only character in this campaign that killed somebody.
Oh, is he?
Well, that was before the campaign started, when he was learning to be a doctor.
No, he's the only one in campaign that. Oh yeah, he killed a bunch of people.
Whatever random ward is telling you guys, it's not true. I got my doctorate through legal means. Okay?
No, there's only one murderer in this party right now, and that's the doctor.
So, in our first session, our 0 session, when we rolled dice, we also took the time to establish our origin stories. We learned about Random and his criminal and World War I background. We learned about Caldov's illusionary and street performance, as well as acting skill sets. And she currently resides in a little city called San Diego, Southern California. McAllen, we learned, is an investigator, often taking contract work with unnamed and unspecified government agencies that have been stood up since the arrival of the newcomers. Kiki Lee is a millionaire jet setter who resides in New York City, who has been called upon for her special technical skills. And then we have the doctor, known as Calimax, from Chicago. One of Al Capone's favorites. And somehow the Unity Council has brought them all together in the Wagon Wheel Cafe. Once at the Wagon Wheel Cafe, they met an unnamed German lady who introduced them to, well, a situation. The situation was a spell that was cast to prevent the murder of President Coolidge, as well as the fact that they also discovered that Coolidge is the highest ranking member of the Masonic Order that is part of this overall series of organizations that have begun to take a very heated interest in the newcomers, as it's been 10 years since their arrival. They were brought in specifically to make an investigation, determine the cause, and perhaps even aid in undoing whatever caused this situation. 3 goblin assassins from the Twisted Eye, supposedly, based on the information that we have, had attempted to assassinate Calvin Coolidge. As a reaction to this assassination attempt, Coolidge was wearing a particular pendant that caused time to slow down to sheer fractions of itself to prevent his immediate murder. However, during the investigation, it was determined that the magical bullets shot at President Coolidge would definitely kill him, as the special clothing that he's wearing is not sufficient enough to prevent all the bullets from penetrating him internally. Calimax had even taken a special interest in understanding what particular organs were going to be affected by these shots, and had commanded both Yodam and the unnamed individual to have a potential surgical staff or room put on standby in case it was needed. During this point, McAllen had discovered a third party had been overseeing and watching from a far distant corner over by the stairs, watching as everyone was doing what they were doing. In an attempt to intercept this individual, it revealed itself, and then an encounter ensued. The goblin construct, the augmented goblin, seemed to have devices as well as a bio-adhered weapon that seemed very unfamiliar to everyone, with the exception of the diagnostic panel or pad that reported to Kiki Lee that it was definitely advanced alien technology, something that she would be familiar with, but was not aware that other aliens were on this planet at the point. Kiki also got in a little bit of trouble during this time period, revealing a little too much information about herself. There was a partial download and deletion of that conversation from her internal memory, and she was given a 114265 8-9 warning citation from the organization that manages her and her information that she disseminates back to the network that is fused into her physical being. Where we last left off, all of you were recovering from wounds, examining the augmented goblin, taking note, and I believe a conversation was going on about the potential of using either a planar shift spell or a teleportation spell as a way to enter the interior of the bubble of slow time in an attempt to possibly prevent the assassination of President Coolidge. That's where we last left off. Some of you are recovering from your wounds. Some of you still investigating. The unnamed German woman is merely staring and listening as this conversation plays out. Yodam has malformed back to his normal condition. He is no longer in his construct condition. It is still evening time of the first day. The spell is expected to wear off in 2 days. You guys have been here for at least an hour or so, maybe even a little bit longer. It's early evening, beginning to transcend into late evening. Currently, only the female representative of the Unity Council is keeping an eye on the 5 of you. What would you guys like to do?
I'm going to copy down the spell since ma'am loaned me her book. Even if it's not in my realm of possibility, I'm copying it down into the back of my spell book.
Okay, give me a sleight of hand.
Well, she gave me her book.
Give me a sleight of hand. Well, she
So
gave
with advantage since she
since she
let me
gave
look
you,
at her book?
since it was given to you willingly, yeah.
Okay. $19.
You copy it fairly well. Now give me Arcana with advantage.
I'm better at this one. With advantage, it's a 12.
Yeah. It's probably going to take another couple efforts of copying it and learning it at the same time, but given some time, you might possibly be able to learn the spell. Or at least learn enough to begin to practice with it.
I just kind of want to get it down so I can come back to it later or study it at another time. So,
What the rest of you like to do?
Finish on McAllen's wounds.
Okay.
Because that's what I was doing before, and McAllen decided to continuously move around the room.
Like a trail of
Right.
congealed blood all over the room.
Stop moving! You're gonna break your stitches.
Dr. Man, please heal me next. I feel my life force is low.
I could have sworn I just gave you a bunch of pills.
I don't know if they're working or not. I just feel weird.
Since we stopped the necrotic damage, I wouldn't mind getting healed.
All these people asking to be healed at once.
I feel faint. Oh no.
I'm going to be a couple hours. I'm copying this down.
Then I would need most of you to stop moving around the room.
Kiki stands perfectly still right in front of him.
I'm just laying prone on the floor.
Bleeding.
Can I blink, please?
I walk over to Caldove, and I see her writing, and I ask her what are you doing there?
The The necklace, the protection ward. I'm looking to see I'm copying down the spell that causes the time bubble. So I can study it later, see if we can find any loopholes, any way to fix this.
You're copying it down? So
Yeah,
once you copy it, will you be able to do it?
No, this is very complicated. After a few tries, maybe. But I can't promise that I won't freeze like your eyeball and then the rest of you would still be functioning, but I'm going to try.
Please don't. I'd appreciate not having to do this multiple times a day.
If I could do this, I could pause wounds till you could heal them if you actually can.
We would have to work on your magic.
So where are you from?
That's a 20.
San Diego.
20. McAllen.
Where are
I put
you
more
from?
bandages around you.
I'm from around.
That sounds as specific as San Diego.
Yeah. Pretty much. So what do you do?
This? I used to be an actor. Ish. I tried to be an actor. I'm too small.
There's also racism in the acting world. They cast just humans from what I see.
I'm human.
Of course you are.
Does she look human? You look human?
I look human. When I walk, it's kind of like I'm walking in a very
Like weird.
watery way, but for the most part, I look human. There's odd signs. Like I'm short. I'm small sized, so I'm like 5 foot even, maybe 5'2". I can't remember what
That's
I put on there.
That's like 1 inch shorter than me in real life.
Like super short.
I might be shorter than that. I can't remember what I wrote down.
I'm pretty sure all of us.
Human?
Super short.
Everybody but McAllen looks human.
Yeah, I have there's a slight blue tint to my hair. It's long, like blondish, but there's a slight blue tint. My eyes are everything kind of looks like water, but for like initial appearance, I look human.
Okay. You think can I
But I am small size, so I don't know what the height
insight to
is.
see if I notice that it's weird?
Go
the
for
way
it.
she walks?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sitting right now.
17.
You notice that when she was doing some earlier investigations of the room, that there's always a slight blink or distortion, just momentarily.
Away.
Like when she makes sudden movements, it distorts.
Kind of like you're looking through a glass of water for a moment.
So why do you hide yourself?
What do you mean? I don't hide. I'm right here.
She does not appear to be hiding to me either, as I see her plain as day.
I just look at Kiki really weird, and then I
You
turn
might?
back. I'm just super confused when Kiki talks, and
I think everybody is.
I say, so you're pretty familiar with this magic, yeah?
I dabble here and there. It helps in my street work. I do, the fake illusions on the street for entertainment.
But you know real magic, but you're doing fake magic.
I dabble in real magic.
So you're a street performer? Are you
Yeah. You can see me outside of school halls, or when the magicians would be on stage. I would be outside. I'm not quite on the stage yet there. But
if you will
for those
please,
who can't afford to go in and see the shows.
If you will please excuse me for a moment, Mr. Gareth is here. I will be back shortly. And you watch as the German lady disappears up the stairs and out the door. You guys are left alone in the room having this conversation.
I just I'm not like talking to her out in the open. I'm just like,
Casual
not being
conversation.
discreet, but like I'm not like trying to
Right.
announce that I'm talking to her or anything.
Yeah.
I'm
I
just
just
sitting at the desk copying, so I assumed you kind of came over to my side of the
Yeah.
room where I was copying.
I lean
things
in and I
from.
say, it seems like you don't have, no offense, but it doesn't seem like you have too much going on. Are you married to San Diego?
I've moved here and there.
You can marry cities?
I think I look at Kiki again and I turn back. How about
Yes, you should try it sometime. Try Dallas.
Would you be interested in a job?
What sort of job?
I could see that you're pretty good at writing, and I think I could use somebody with a set of skills in the magic stuffs.
The magic stuff.
Yeah, I think that's what my friends call it.
Caldev, while this conversation's going on, give me a perception check really quick.
Hold on 1 second. And
Eyeing Random up and down, I mean, he is the quintessential vision of a gangster. I mean, everything about his swagger, the pistol that he used earlier, his casual use of English slang or common slang, depending on which language he switches in and out of. But as a traditional Terran, he's presence is a little bit overbearing to you. You're not kind of used to this kind of level of masculinity. There's something strangely powerful about him, and you're not really sure what it is, but he's an intriguing person, to say the least.
I have some girls that could do with some oversight, and I think they would appreciate a touch, a more feminine touch.
what sort of oversight and what sort of girls?
I have some girls under my employment, and I just need somebody to manage them and take care of them and make sure that they're okay.
I slip Caldov a paper, and it says he's asking you to be a madam.
And I will say, when people say those kinds of girls,
So to be clear, Kiki and Calamex and McAllen are on the other side of the room dealing with McAllen. Caldev and Random are on the other side of the room by a table where she's copying down notes. So I'm going to say these are two separate realities right now. There's no note passing in class.
These girls
I've lived in New York. I'm not sure that overseeing girls for men such as yourself is... I don't think you need someone with my magic skills for that.
It's not just your magic. It seems like you're kind of good with the pen. I need someone to kind of be good with numbers and oversight and logistics, and honestly, to just take care of them. And if I need other things from you, then but the pay is good. There's a good people you're working with, and these girls are sweet.
We give this a trial. We'll see if this works.
If you're uncomfortable, or if you see anything that makes you uncomfortable, you let me know, and I'll take care of it.
Let's give this a trial of 30 days, and we'll see how it goes.
Kiki,
Sounds good.
Kiki, there's a voice in your head. Mistress, we have finished our scan of the room. There is a slight anomaly and variance on the third table next to the second bookcase. It appears that something was once there and is now missing. And then there's a digital imprint inside your eye that kind of cycles. You kind of turn in that direction, and the laboratory table in between the two bookcases that were just referenced, you see a series of notes, books, and stacks of paper, and then there's a digital imprint on the table of where there should have been a book there and is now missing. It would have seemed that the analysis of the room has pointed to that has been missing within at least the last 24 hours, which would synchronize it in time with the event of that the president is currently in.
Can I walk over and to the area?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you moving, woman? Stop moving!
I thought we were done.
We're not done!
I'll just freeze and be like, okay, sorry.
I look over and I look back and I say, "What was your name again?"
Me? Him?
No,
Him?
to Caldiv.
Me?
Him?
Caldov.
You could call me Dummy. And I shake your hand. And then I walk off.
Look forward to working with you, dummy.
For sure. Me too.
Say hi to everybody, Peanut.
Hi, Peanut.
He can't hear you.
Aww.
Give us a kiss. All right. Do you need anything, or are you good? Okay, we're live. Say hi to everybody there. Love you. Go play.
That's sweet.
Yeah, she likes to check up on me just in case. So with that, Random and Caldev, you are having this conversation while Caldev, you're still continuing to copy, take notes. Calamax, you realize that you're giving Kiki pills as your only option, as none of her damage appears to be physical. So you immediately pick up on the fact that it's psychological. So you reach in, pull out some of your specialized pills, you give her, she took some kind of psychic damage. McAllen continues to be your main concern. But you and McAllen watch as Kiki kind of gets up and walks towards the table, and she's now examining this table. Kiki, go ahead and give me an investigation, please.
That's really good. 22.
22. This particular table, there seems to be a lot of reference material to mechanical devices, mechanical tools, tools that have been infused with either magics of force or magics of augmentation. There are 4 books stacked up off to the right. One book seems to speak to augmentation specifically. A second book refers to general engineering and mechanics, written by Edison, Thomas Edison, volume 4. There's a third book that seems to be written by Nicholas Tesla, and the use of both inverted and extroverted forms of energy control. And then there's a fourth book that seems to be a reference to something called a doppelganger. And it seems to cover the genetics and engineering techniques of the duplication process that a doppelganger uses to take on the form of something else. It's quite possible that whatever this 5th missing book is part of whatever this was related to. This seems to be an active lab table as well, as there's tools and other devices lying about. Crude, rudimentary from your perspective, as you know, your technology state is a lot more different and a lot more progressive than the current technology state that we're in. But you do see a folded up newspaper on the table as well. There's a series of glass beakers. There's a series of small jars filled with many different kind of elements within them. And then there's a very thin scroll of engineering paper kind of laid out with a series of sketches and drawings. One appears to be an arm, a hand, series of fingers like detached with little component references to the fingers.
Does it look mechanical, or is it like a human anatomy?
It looks like a bit of both.
Is this the table that I took the book from?
No,
last
this
session?
is a different one.
Okay. I was saying because Kiki saw me take that book.
And I will say,
Yeah, I told her to take it.
yeah, so I'm making sure it wasn't that.
and I will say from this table, since that investigation was so high, looking backwards, Kiki, over off to the side where McAllen and Calamix are currently dealing with McAllen, Caldov and Random are off to the side, talking and taking notes. This table, looking backwards, seems to almost be a presentation. You're slightly lifted, and there's a series of tables and chairs, almost like you're in a lecture position. Like you could look out, and you may have some people listening to whoever would be up here. It feels almost like a lecture room or an educational condition, which is strange.
Could I investigate, like, since it looks like a lecture or some type of presentation was given here, has this area been muddled by other footprints, or can I still see, like, whether people have, like, traces of people, maybe hair, or...
Just describe for me how you'd go about looking for these extra details.
So I see the table, and after I scan and see that it looks like there was a presentation given and there's a missing book, I'm gonna look at the chairs, see if there's anything left behind, maybe skin cells or something.
Since your investigation was so high, go ahead and give me a survival check with advantage. With advantage.
Ooh, that one's not so good. 13.
13. Your eye whirs and whines, it clicks and clacks, and a familiar voice in your head. Sorry, mistress, we are picking up no other anomalies. Please, excuse us.
Do I recognize any of the fluids in the beakers?
Most of the fluids seem to be either mercury, 2 or 3 different variations of low caustic acid. There's some obvious gunpowder in one jar. There's platinum filings, iron filings, and sodium nitrate in another jar. There seems to be some phosphate in another jar, because all these are marked, so you're kind of reading them and looking at them. Go ahead and give me an insight check really quick.
I was going to ask, as somewhat of an alchemist myself,
Mm-hmm.
could I determine what those materials would, what would happen if those materials were combined?
Yep, give me insight.
19.
19. Corrosive acidic results or possible explosive results?
Because I personally don't care too much for the affairs of humans, but I feel like the team might be curious about this, I'm going to loudly exclaim, "There are corrosive components here! Is anyone interested? Do you guys care about that or no?
I
I
pick
light a
McAllen
cigarette.
up.
Randomly lights a
I'm gonna
cigarette.
pick McAllen up. McAllen, I'm gonna pick you up and lead you over towards where Kiki Lee is.
Yeah,
So that
I'm just gonna
I can
point and
sit
be like,
you.
Are
I sit you in a
corrosive.
chair so you can do
are
your
they
thing.
contained?
They're in the
Yes.
beakers and the.
Oh.
They are contained, yes, but if you mix them together, it will corrode, which would be dangerous for us.
Are there any notes or
Let's not do
anything
that.
around?
Yes, there is notes.
Yeah.
Mister, there are notes here, and it looks like kind of robotic, kind of electronic, of arms and kind of an anatomy-like. If you want to look at this, so I'll pick it up and I'll hand it over to you. The injured dude, I'll just hand it to the injured dude, and I'll be like, "Can you not smoke? I feel like you're trying to kill us. If after I exclaimed that it's corrosive, that you lit your cigarette."
Oh, it's a big
And
room. I'm in the
explosives.
corner. I'm up in the
Okay,
boonies.
Yeah.
I'm like by the
Okay, you stay
stairs.
there. Oh,
But
I'm
I'm-
gonna I'll motion to Caldub and I'll be like, "These books look cool if you want to steal these too."
Stealing books.
I mean, borrow.
Kind of look over. I'm gonna now keep an ear out over their conversation, but I think I admitted I had the biometrics book because I handed it to
There's-
somebody.
There's nobody else there, right?
I'm gonna walk over to Caldub and like take her arm and walk her over to the books and be like, "Look,
Right, it's like-
The,
Is it just
pretty
us?
cool."
German lady should still be there.
No, she.
No, she
no,
went
no.
up to
No,
see
she
Mr.
left.
Dallas,
Oh no, no,
um,
but the other guy, the
Oh,
other guy's still
Yodam.
there.
No,
Yoda's
Yodam is
still
still
here.
there?
Yodam, he's not in his construct anymore. He is back in his half orc form, and he's up by the main door that leads out, just standing there, keeping an eye on you guys. That's all he's doing.
Okay. When they
Okay.
We're not
when
unobserved.
I hear Caldov like Kiki talking to Caldov, and I'm just gonna walk up to Yodam and just strike up small talk and try to distract him a little bit.
But yeah, I'm just gonna look at the books
Banguri.
with Caldub.
You know our language well. Where did you learn it? Aktu Aishtuk Om.
Irombari. I just talk about I have some friends who knew the language, and I offer him a cigarette.
He takes it from you, lights it up. What's your passive perception?
13.
13.
baby.
DC was a 10. And you'd be familiar with this injury. There's a significant shrapnel injury from his bicep all the way up to his pinky, where there was clearly a point where there was a surgical maneuver done that laid his entire arm open. And there's fragments of scars from like a shrapnel explosion as he takes the cigarette from you. And you also watch as he reaches into a pocket, pulls out a Iron Cross lighter and lights it up.
Boy. Boy. The Germans, huh? I note that I just ask her, did it hurt?
Did what
In
hurt?
Orcish.
Did what
I
hurt?
just kind of-
Inka. Oh.
In Gorum. And I just point to a scar.
Oh. It still hurts.
Glorious. And we just shoot the shoot.
McAllen, as you're absorbing all the details that Kiki has pointed out to you, and Calamex, you're kind of hovering nearby, just keeping an eye on Kiki and McAllen. McAllen, go ahead and give me a history check really quick.
Kiki, did Kiki announce that there was a book missing, or just that there was corrosives and
No,
explosives?
I didn't say there was a book missing yet.
That
Okay,
part
so
she
it's
hasn't.
just
She
four
has.
books on the shelf.
Yeah.
But I'm just showing you the books and being like, "Oh, look at this one.
The
This
four
one's like
remaining books.
Tesla. This one is blah blah blah. How cool!"
So,
DM, quick question. Did you see the thing I sent you?
No. Go ahead, McAllen. What'd you get?
so I rolled a 2, so that's a total of 4.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Yeah, looking at these notes and looking back over at Coolidge, there's a connection here. You know there's a connection here, but you're missing something. You don't know what it is, but you're definitely missing something.
Okay, I want to try and study more closely and try and figure out if, especially with like these schematics and everything that are laid out, if there's like any kind of oddities, anything like besides what I would just infer as an arm or a hand, if there's something special about it besides the fact that it's mechanical.
Give me investigation. 12. Whoever wrote these diagrams and labeled and did this work on this engineering piece of paper is a master augmenter. There's no doubt in your mind. This is augmented. This is augmented mechanics, infused with either force or warded energy of magics, designed specifically to repair an arm. Or possibly replace one, depending on the arm's condition.
I'm going to talk more to Keldov as we're looking at these books. And then I've been very loud, but this time I'm going to whisper while she's looking through these books and say, there's a book missing. Do you recognize a pattern in these books where you can surmise what the other book would be? It's like a puzzle.
That is a
no?
very good question. Let me ponder these books.
Yeah, go ahead and give me insight with advantage, because Kiki has given you some additional information at this point.
19.
So the books here all appear to be reference material that seem to reference aspects, referencing the anatomy and genetic engineering of a doppelganger. The understanding of Mechanicus and the understanding of the bioengineering ability of fusions and mechanics. The everything here seems to make sense to somebody that was attempting to study the application of augmented engineering. The book that you think might be missing is the general application book, the book that actually talks about the science and engineering requirements of the final application of the completed work. That feels like maybe that's what's missing.
So I'll tell Kiki, I think these are all very specific. It would make sense if it was an overview, like a general application of augmentation and mechanical. I can't read my handwriting.
Can I butt into this conversation?
I'm whispering it to Kiki. You're healing
Oh,
me.
whispering.
I'm right next to you guys.
Yeah, no, the four of you are actually kind of
Yeah.
together at this point,
Okay.
because McAllen's
Oh,
taken
I'm
an
still
interest
whispering.
in the table.
We were talking to each other and
I
you were
gave him the
eavesdropping.
notes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've been doing that the whole time.
yeah. I think we're all just
I'm
very
not
nosy
surprised,
here.
Mr. Doctor.
We're all very nosy here. I will just be
Doctor.
like, so, my dove, you are saying that the main piece of the puzzle is missing, and these are all just pieces of it on the outside, but the centerpiece is what is missing from here.
Piece that gives the overview. These are all very specific. It's doppelganger, it's mechanics, it's fusion, but how to put it all together is what's missing. So yes,
As you're
it's like
talking, I'm gonna take your bag and slowly put each book in the. You're
DM,
like,
Yeah.
uh-huh.
Go ahead.
because this is all assorted with some sort of medicine and magic, could I put an insight check to put it all together? Like, what would be the missing piece in the middle?
Describe for
the general
me.
application book.
Describe for me, listening to Caldov, Kiki, and McAllen interpret all this information. currently random is off to the side, distracting Yodam.
I'll talk.
Describe for me the insight that you're looking for. What are the pieces that you think are offering up the solution?
So, from what I've seen so far, this is talking about augmentation of the body while also fundamentally putting together traits of other creatures into a new creature or a new being, right? That
And-
medically, I know how to do because I've been doing a smaller version because of robotics and steampunk engineering into Capone for years. I've been honing those skills for many, many years, and not only him, but other people.
But it's
So
not
I know.
creation, it's also the doppelganger aspect.
Yeah, I know.
is
I already.
throughout
Yeah, putting features of another creature into this creature.
of a specific creature.
That's still all medicine.
Yeah.
So, as you kind of begin to verbalize that slightly while taking in all this information, go ahead and actually give me a history check with advantage.
Natural 20.
So, with that, Calamex, do you have any madness dice yet? Do you have any D4s?
No.
Okay, so you're good. You're good there. So go ahead and so this is what happens. It's almost like a flash of recognition when you begin to put all the pieces of the puzzle together. There are books that you've read that have been authored by master engineers, master augmentation engineers. But all the augmentation engineers that you're aware of are a member of the Dreamers organization. And the Dreamers are a subculture to the Masonics, and that's when you begin to realize something. Coolidge is a dreamer. Now, he's only the head of the Masonic order, but he's a dreamer as well. And as you glance back at him, you can even see the engineering hammer emblem that he wears on his other hand. He's got his Masonic ring on his right hand, denoting leadership, but on his left hand is his understanding of the subculture known as the Dreamers. And to be called a master augmentator or an engineer of master augmentation, you actually have to be a member of the Dreamers. They're an incredibly secret organization. It's almost considered cultish in concept, but not quite fanatical from your understanding. But they are toying and messing with the very edge of things that are skirt the line of morality. Almost to the point that you have heard rumors that they have taken undead entities and used and practiced these augmentation attempts on these undead entities. You've even heard rumors of these particular types of creatures getting out of control and getting out amongst the world without semblance of order because, well, being an underground subculture group, you don't always keep things bottled up very well. And that's how rumors get started. But it's quite possible you're either looking at a high-ranking member of the Dreamers or perhaps even on the leadership cadre as well, which then begins to formulate and postulate more possibilities in your mind as you take all of this in. You have a Masonic leader who's clearly also the leader of the Unity Council and currently president of the United States. He's also a practicing augmentation engineer and could be in the higher cadres of this organization. It's this being a target of assassination now takes on many possibilities, many different strange potentials. Who the fuck was the augmented goblin and what were they watching? Why this particular situation and why the obviousness of the assassination? That too many clues points to a specific understanding of who's making this assassination attempt. And it's all of it's strange, but you're watching as all these pieces are now falling in place.
Okay, so what is it pointing me? My question. I put it all together, but what is it pointing me
Yeah,
at?
you get the feeling either a particular augmentation item was stolen and that the assassination is a cover-up. You also get the possibility that this entire situation is too well manicured, too well organized. It's all perfect. And you're wondering if maybe this might even be a test. That this entire situation was purposely built as a test for some reason. Those are the two conclusions that are kind of floating in your mind right now.
Do you share either of those?
No.
When I see Kiki and Caldove putting books in the bag, I throw away my cigarette butt, take out another one, and then I bust out my Star Spangled Zoo, and then I light my cigarette right in front of Yodam.
Yeah. What year did you serve?
Sparse.
I'm also going to take the diagrams and stuff, not just the books.
Okay. Give me sleight of hand with advantage, Caldove, because both Kiki and Random are helping you to a certain degree. Yodam looks at you, pulls a big drag from his cigarette. What unit did you serve?
And all in Orcish. I talk about I was in the second battle of Verdun with Kilroy's Killboys.
That's before my time. I was in the 4th Psalm. That's when my arm was nearly taken from me. But Colonel Gareth found me, brought me back, got me to a hospital, and, well, I've been devoted to him ever since. He put me on this detail after I was augmented, given the ability to survive my wounds. And you watch as he kind of pulls up his shirt, and you can see that a portion of his sternum and lower cavity of his stomach is all augmented. It's all been changed out with a series of infused, almost like engineering devices. You can see fluids that kind of keep gears moving and working. And he begins to point out to you how he can augment his size and enlarge himself because of all of this activity that was done upon him.
I heard the 4th Psalm was pretty brutal. And then Verdun was not a picnic either. And I lift up my shirt, and it's just like scars and scars. And I say, and I'm all natural, baby.
No augmentation. It's interesting, you Terrans, to live an entire lifetime without the understanding of magics. What is that like? What was it like when you discovered magics for the first time?
Life without magic is liberating. It makes things too complicated.
Maybe, but I would be dead without it.
True. Yeah, I'm glad you're here.
I am glad I am here as well. So what'd you get, Caldove?
21.
21. You managed to deftly pull in all the material that you're trying to fit into your bag. Random and Kiki have given you the assist on that.
Can I?
Go ahead.
Can I pull McAllen to the side?
Mm-hmm.
McAllen. I whisper to you. With everything that we've found, and your being the keen eye, you may have a better synopsis of what I've put together. But this is either staged or some augment was stolen. And that is why that is a cover-up operation.
Yes, but why go to such a high-profile distraction?
Test.
But the person or people that are doing this must know, obviously, this is the US president.
This is a test for us.
But
We
then,
all bring something different to the table. And if we're being brought together to a table as a team, they have some sort of mission for us that they deem that we could understand if we can get to the bottom of this test.
and then I point to the bubble and I say, then what would you say this has to do with Coolidge over there and life that seems to be at risk at the very least?
I point at his fingers and I say, Masonic. You know what this is, correct? You know what the Masonic ring is?
McAllen would be very aware of it. Yeah.
I point at his other hand now and I say, do you know of the Dreamers? The subcult?
McAllen, give me a history check.
Man, I'm rolling terrible tonight.
Guidance. I'll give you guidance. Add a d4 to it.
That's a 9.
You've heard of them, but not much about them.
Yeah. Say fanatical cult. Cultish fanatics that stray the edge of morality.
Interesting.
If this is a cover-up, then it's a cover-up to hide the fact that this augment was stolen from the college. If not, then this is a very well-organized test to see if we can find out that this is a test.
Then the question becomes, who would be testing us? Obviously, we are led to believe that the Twisted Eye is involved.
It may be, but it's too obvious. The Twisted Eye is a very well-renowned organization. They don't need to make a name for themselves if the people who came from the other world are here now. They already know of the fear that the Twisted Eye bring. It's nothing but even more fame that they brought themselves since they came here. Only the best of the best can even hire Twisted Eye because only they know of the Twisted Eye. So if they're doing this, the Twisted Eye didn't do this. This is way too organized, especially on a U.S. president. They're not stupid.
This would lead me to believe that this was either put on by these dreamers you speak of, or by the people that brought us here in the first place.
I think it was the people that brought us here in the first place. The Unity Council. They said that this is, remember, they said that they all saw ideals and capabilities in all of us. This is a test to show our capabilities. Mine in medicine, yours in investigation, Kiki's with her astounding intellect, Random with his bravado, Caldove with her magic and secrecy. But we all carry an air of unknowing.
But then the next question becomes, how do we find out if this is actually a test without alerting them that we know?
Interesting. And I think that book is the way, the missing book is the way to find it. When the German lady will ask if when she's coming back or when she comes back, and tell her about it. There's missing items. And how well this is staged even with the magic that the Twisted Eye brings. Coolidge is the leader of the Masonic Order. And he is a dreamer. Maybe one of the leaders of the dreamers. They would never let him die. Even if he does die, they'll augment him to bring him back to life. It is easy enough done. It's been done countless times. This is a setup. That is a cover.
It's definitely worth investigating.
Not the real Coolidge. Bum bum bum.
That could be a thing.
That's an interesting point. Yeah.
I'm not there. That was just out of character. My tossing that.
You watch as a pigeon lands on top of Coolidge.
My
I was
passing
gonna
note.
inspect him further and see and check if he was actually human or not. Or
So that was my passing the note back, saying it's not a Madame position. It's not
Well,
the real Coolidge.
I do want to examine the scene within the sphere of slowing more closely and look for things that seem either like too perfect or things that are just too like it just seems like it's set up too well that in reality somebody may not react that way or something like that. Something that's out of step, more or less.
While he's doing that, I would like to go up to the orc.
Yodam?
Yeah, Yodam. And I would like to ask him, Yodam, quick question. Are there any holographic images or pictures that we could see of Yodam that were in the past few days? Or not Yodam, Coolidge? Perfect depictions of him.
McCallan, go ahead and give me investigation with advantage. Are you going to give him guidance again, Calamix? Since he's kind of coming off the conversation that you guys had.
Yeah. He can
Okay,
have-
so you have that D4 as well. You walk over to where Random and Yodam are currently smoking cigarettes, and you ask Yodam. Yodam looks at you and goes, "There are no camera-taking devices allowed here. That has always been a mandate."
I'm not asking for a camera-taking device. What I'm asking for is a depiction of Coolidge.
Like a painting?
I
Like a
can
painting
certainly...
or a...
Even outside of this room.
Or a photo, from like around the time.
Yeah, something
Not in
recent.
this
You
room.
watch as he reaches behind his back and pulls out a newspaper and hands it to you. There's a portrait picture of Coolidge announcing his assassination.
Is it in black and white?
In black and white.
I need something more colored, if you could.
I can certainly try. And you watch as he nods in Random's direction and then exits out the room.
I kind of tap Random and say, "Good job."
Wait,
So
yeah,
how's
the
Al
room.
Pacino?
I don't know
Is
who
he
that
doing
is.
healthy? Is he healthy?
I don't know who Al Pacino is.
Hey dog, you should come work for me. That guy's he's old news. Guy's on his way out, man. You don't have time for that.
I look at you and go, "You mean the crime boss of, I'd say 35% of the United States currently is on his way out?"
Yeah, there's a lot of small underdogs always hunting.
Yes, and he
You
hunts
know?
them, and it's
Yeah.
great. And I patch him up every time he hunts them.
It's a beautiful
McCallan, what did
game,
you
Doc.
get?
It's It's a beautiful
I
game.
rolled a 25.
25.
Nice.
Do you have any madness dice, McAllen?
I
I think you have 2d4, correct?
think so.
Go ahead and roll one of those, please.
Ooh,
Oh, wow.
3.
3. You can hear Calamix and Random having a hushed conversation off to the side. Caldove is continuing to take notes and examining the area. Kiki is focusing in on the table. Everybody seems to be very retrospect in what they're doing. There's a point of clarity as you focus in on the crime scene itself, the position of everything, the fact that it all is supposed to be slowly moving. And then it dawns on you. As you get a little bit closer, you get to the very edge of the bubble and you look underneath the right shirt cuff that's rolled up. You can see a pinion gear that's slightly exposed that looks like it matches the design on the table.
I asked Calamex, so are you married to Al Pacino? Oh wait, no. Al Capone.
Al Pacino.
Say, that's what I asked you earlier. I was like, I literally looked at you and asked. I literally looked at you and said, "Who's Al Pacino?"
Oh shoot, did I say Al Pacino the first time?
Yeah. So I looked. I was like, "Who's Al Pacino?" And then you said, "My boss is on his way out." I was just like, "What, from Al Pacino to my boss is on the way out?"
Wow.
There he is.
Whoops, whoops. So you married to Al Capone, Doctor?
He does well for me. Yes.
You should think about it. You know,
I'm not sure you could. I am not
you
sure that you could fund my research.
Hey Doc, it'll be fun. All right, it'll
It'd be fun, but you can't fund my research. And until you can do that, I'm not.
Noted.
So with that, McAllen, what else would you like to do?
I want to try and more closely investigate to look and see if this, what we think is Coolidge, may in fact be an automata or robot instead of being the actual person, or if it just seems like his arm has been augmented.
Give me an insight check.
16.
16. Hard to tell for sure, but clearly he's got an augmented arm attached to him, which would beg the question, why? Injury? Test? Decided to try it out on himself? And then your eyes kind of flash between the different goblins, and that's when you remind yourself that the one goblin with the fused weapons in its hands that seem to be actually coming out physically through the wrist and into its hands with a kind of like slow arcane like churn of electricity around, almost like arcanic like crackling. That's, you know, you blink and it barely blinks, you blink, it barely blinks. You see a similar pinion set up on the arm of that goblin as well. Almost looks exactly like the design on that table.
Ain't the same. He's seen the same one that's on the orc or the goblin.
The goblin.
The goblin
On the
in the sphere, the
goblin.
one we killed.
The one in the
And
sphere.
on Coolidge.
Yep. Figure that out.
I look and I say, well, seems like it's a setup.
I walk down. I look.
I want to point out the similarities in the design between the arm and the goblins, and I say, appears all of this was designed by the same person, a group of people.
So either the Unity is setting us up, or some other organization set this up
Yes.
in order to cover up the missing augmentation. We're saying this out loud, right?
If you want to.
Yeah.
And so far, neither Yodam or the German lady have returned yet.
I was about
Door
to say, are
is still
you guys
closed.
at all concerned that all of a sudden they both had to be called away and we're here alone
Well, I
when
asked
we were supposed to
Yoda.
be observed?
I asked Yoda to go get something. He said that there's
You
no
asked him to
sort
go
of
get-
camera,
Champagne?
No
He went to go
cameras.
get a photo.
a
Color
photo of
He
Coolidge.
said there was no
College Park.
cameras allowed down here, but
Exactly.
they also said we were going to be observed the whole time.
Exactly. Let's
Which
let's
you're
look for
not?
cameras. I want to look
I-
for cameras.
Since I'm kind of near the door already, I'm gonna walk up the stairs and see if that door is locked.
Okay.
Just don't get
Oh,
stabbed.
be careful. I'm gonna
Don't get
go
stabbed.
Caldev,
Before,
Don't trust this.
wait, before
Like-
she goes, can I stop her and then I try the door?
Restroom.
you could
Yeah,
certainly
because you were
try.
standing right next to where.
Yeah. Random
Yoda
kind
was-
of, you watch as
I
random
just say,
puts.
"Wait."
Yeah, you watch as random kind of jets out his hand really quick before you're able to start investigating the door. And random, go ahead. Your hand goes through the doorknob.
I
It's all
look
fucking
outside.
illusion.
It's all an illusion.
I look at Caldove and say, "Did you see that?"
Are they? So is the top of the stairs visible to us since
Mhm.
we're standing right next to the thing?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I
I'm-
flick my hand as they just walk through. I flick my hand through the image of Coolidge and the goblins, like pull through.
Give me a con save.
Woohoo! I'm gonna die, boys and girls. It's my con.
Goodbye, doctor.
Oh, that's actually not bad. It's a straight 20.
Okay.
Not natural.
Sheesh.
Take 26 points of lightning damage, halved because you saved, as you pull away your singed hand from the bubble effect.
I look at him and say, "Well, Doc, obviously that wasn't a projection."
It's not real.
Can you walk through the door, or can you stick your hand through the door, or just the doorknob?
Yeah, I just try everything.
Yeah, you watch each time his arm just disappears through the door. Every time he tries to interact with the door, it just moves right through it.
Can I stick my head out?
I was like, wait, before you stick your head through, let me cast shield on you.
So is my hand's charred now, right?
Yeah, it's
My hand
charged.
is charred.
Yep.
Oh, shield is self. What can I cast?
Shield of faith.
Don't have that.
I do.
You
Do
see
wanna
that
cast it on him
random
so he doesn't die. if
random
he sticks his
appears
head
to be
through?
like making preparation to put his head through the door.
Anyone? I can put. You're wearing armor right now. Is
don't
random
know.
wearing armor?
I'm wearing a suit.
Okay, I'm gonna cast mage armor on you.
Okay. Watch as a pearlescent orb forms around him. And you watch as his upper head disappears through the door. And as your head moves through the door, random, you're looking into a hallway that seems to go on for about 50 feet and then turn to the right.
There's only one.
Just a single hallway leading from the door, and then it turns to the right after 50 feet.
So like we're at the corner. It's not like in the middle or anything.
Nope.
I just say Venguri
No response.
line. Hello.
There's an echo of your voice, but no response.
I stick my head out and say it's a hallway and there's nobody there.
I'm going to disguise myself as Thomas Sheehan from the passport image.
Okay.
And since he's
Whoa.
larger than I am, can I do that? He's 6'2" and I'm under however many feet a small size creature is.
You could.
I can change shape with disguise self.
Yeah.
It's part of the Naiad. I can change to the next size up.
Yep. Absolutely.
Cool. I'm going to change in
Whoa.
him and walk through the door.
As she's doing this, I'm going to take out a burn bandage from my bag
Okay.
and start wrapping my hand with it.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your heal. Caldev, as you shift and change and you walk through the door, you're standing in the hallway. You can see Random's head still looking down the hallway. You're like standing there on the other side of the door as the image of Thomas, but Random's still kind of like looking at you and looking down the hallway. You can see 50 feet down a kind of linoleum like tile hallway, very simple walls, very kind of like old school Edison style lights hanging from the very center, leading up to where it turns to the right at the end of the hallway.
I follow her out, and I just open my jacket and I take out a bayonet. And I
Okay.
just kind of I try to stay close to her.
I look at Kiki because she seems to be kind of off in her own space. And I say, Kiki, come on, we're leaving. And I kind of lead her out.
Okay.
Is Kiki still not breathing?
Really?
I breathe.
She was frozen, waiting for healing, not blinking.
Just waiting to breathe.
I can't heal her because there's no physical damage. It's all up here. I can only give her the pills. Which
Excuse me, I would like to clarify that I breathe a lot.
So, Kiki and Calamex, you're following through as well. McAllen, what are you doing?
I'm following along with them.
Okay. So, McAllen and Calamex, as you cross through the threshold, you can see where Caldov and Random are standing in this hallway as well. Kiki, the minute you cross through the threshold, there's a burst of static, and you feel your network go down.
Oh,
Your eye
Right.
goes. Your eye kind of goes to normal, and you lose the
What's
network
that sound?
connection.
What's that sound?
it's. I farted. I'm sorry.
He says,
You're
God,
radiant.
woman and
I'm only human. You know.
he looks at you and says, God, woman, and pushes you forward.
But then if you're
Did you run
behind
behind
me,
her
you'll
after that?
smell it. Like,
So, give me a
It has no
lineup.
smell.
All 5 of you are currently in this 50-foot long hallway. Edison lights hanging down the middle, giving you some emoticon of light. You can see where it turns
Oh,
to the right
right.
at the very end of the hallway. Who's in front?
I'm going to go first.
Caldov? Okay.
I want to be
Um,
behind her.
I'm closely behind her, and I lean in. And I ask her, "Is this your real form?"
No.
So I'll say Random and Kiki are just behind Caldov.
Yeah, and I heard that because I'm right there and I'm very nosy.
I'm
Mm.
really uncomfortable next to Kiki.
I'm like really close listening. And I'm like,
She looks
He's
so
like
weird.
walking
weird.
on his heels.
I knew
She
it.
is straight up the weirdest person, like one out of this whole group.
She's
to
a
me.
total edgelord for sure.
Not the one who just changed to look like somebody else.
Yeah.
The
So-
one who,
Not the furball, not the weird
Yeah.
dragon doctor.
Calamex and
shiny
human
McAllen.
doctor.
Chinese
He's not a
lady.
dragon yet. Shiny scaled doctor.
I'm not
Callum,
even
I'm,
shiny scaled.
leading up the
You
rear.
have like you said you had like scale-ish things
It's
that look
patches, like patches of my skin. It's not like full on, like,
so it's kind
I'm
of like,
fully scaled.
what's that?
it looks like you have
it looks like eczema.
Yeah, it looks like eczema. That's what I was going to say.
Oh, eczema.
So Calamex and
Yeah.
McAllen, you guys are flanking each other, bringing up the rear, as Caldov in her changed form is kind of leading all of you down the hallway. Caldov, as you get to the very end of the hallway, you turn to look, you watch as it goes another 20 feet and then to a very simple, plain metal door.
You said 20 feet.
Yep.
I call down the hall and say, Caldov, if they wanted to kill us, we would probably be dead by now.
You don't know that.
You can
Running out of
never be too
spells.
careful.
I just gave the warning. If they wanted to kill us, we'd probably be dead by now. With the amount of magic and everything they've shown us, we would be dead.
At Caldov's response, I just say,
I'm gonna go down and touch the door. Is it
It's-
temperature wise? Is it room temperature? It's,
The
I mean,
room
it's a metal
temp.
door.
Yeah, it's a room temperature metal door. Edison lights hanging right above you.
All right, I'm gonna look back and say, "You guys ready?"
Yes.
I'm gonna open the door.
Door opens. You see a set of stairs, metal stairs, leading down beyond your vision. And it seems to spiral down. And there are lights above as it spirals down. You look over the edge, you can see a center apex kind of hole in the middle. And looking down, there's enough light to see that it goes down at least 100 feet.
You guys ready for a drop? It's gonna be a
She's-
while.
As she says that, I walk up and I'm gonna pull out, I don't know, like,
glow stick.
no, not a glow stick. I'm gonna pull out a like a metal rod that I would use for heat stroke. Light on it, and I just drop it.
It is
Okay.
a glow stick. Hold up.
You reach over and drop it, and you hear it. You hear it.
Any flourish before you drop it?
You hear it clink, 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 clink. Just goes on forever.
Is there anywhere else to go other than down?
Doesn't appear so.
Leap
Like
of
in the
faith?
hallway and everything as well.
So I didn't check for anything. That's not. In
The
my
hallway
purview to
was
check
like,
the hidden
is the hallway
door.
stone or it's like a building?
It's plaster wall,
Okay, so it's like a building.
maybe.
Does it match the decor of the basement?
Give me an insight check.
2.
Yeah, as far as you can tell, there's absolutely no similarity.
Would you like me to go first?
If that is your desire.
I'll go first. I look like somebody who is part of Unity. Not that it'd make a difference with the 4 of you behind me, but might give them a moment's pause.
I look at Random and I say, "You seem like a rough and tumble individual. Why don't you lead the way?"
So I'm gonna grab the pole and slide down.
So,
I just I
You guys
follow
watch as
whatever,
Caldove breaches through the doorway and then she's gone. The flash of energy, crackle of arcane smoke, and ozone fills the hallway, the 20-foot section of the hallway that you're in, and she's gone.
I quickly follow.
Random steps through, crack of same energy, gone.
I would like to follow as well.
Iki, you pulse through. McAllen, Calamex.
Do I recognize the smell that this is admitting, or any of the like things?
Fucking Richard.
Does this seem like a safe thing?
Yeah, give me an Arcana check.
Okay. That's only a 9.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely has the feel of a magical effect. Whether it's safe or not, you're not really sure. By the way, Colin, your dice suck.
I know. I'm rolling like crap tonight.
You gotta punish those.
I look over at Calamax and I say, "Well, Doc, what do you think?"
I think I'm a man of science and medicine, and also a man of magic. And I think you should go first.
Well, it was nice knowing you, Doc. Step through.
You watch as McKellen steps through the same track of Arcana-like energy.
I kind of look around and go, I could just go back, but that wouldn't be fun. But I could go back. I'd probably fail the test, though. I'd go and grab the pole.
Crack of energy as you
Nobody
go
takes the
through.
stickers.
Even though there was a slight hesitation and delay as each one of you took a second or two to pulse through the gateway, you all appear at exactly the same time.
Ooh.
Standing alongside of each other, standing on what feels to be an earthen, rocky surface inside a very large cavern. So large you can't even see the ceiling, the walls. There are faded points of light where mechanical, like machinations of light are pulsing and kind of coursing around. See wires and copper tubing disappearing off into the darkness. And you see a single table about 50 feet in front of you. And there is an individual leaning over this table, seemingly in deep thought, reading something. They seem to be roughly 6 feet in height. There are many devices that do not look familiar to you at all on the table. There is darkness beyond them. There's enough light to light up the space that this person is in. And you're just standing there. And what do you guys do?
Wait, there's someone just standing there?
Sitting.
They
No.
notice us come through.
He's
Leaning
like
over the table.
he's leaning over the table like he's studying something intently.
What does he look like? What race? What makeup?
You can't tell his back is to you.
What color hair?
He is dark brown, black hair with silver and white hues to it. Seems to be wearing a very simple white shirt that's rolled up to the elbows, wearing leather pants, almost like engineering style pants. And you can see the harness of a smock over the backside. So he's probably wearing one of those protective leather smocks on the front side. You watch as he puts his hand through his hair and then kind of puts it back down. And then his other hand makes notes with his left hand, kind of makes notes.
So he doesn't
Which-
react
Does he-
at all to us?
Does he look to you
when-
about 200 pounds?
I mean, he's a little on the heavy side.
Coolidge. I say this out loud.
You say Coolidge out loud.
Yeah.
You guys hear Calamex's voice echo and kind of bounce off the caverns, and you hear, "Oh, not quite, my boy, but good guess. It's taken many others days to get this far. The 5 of you have done well." And he continues to have his back to you.
Who are you?
"Oh, my dear,
I go. As she says this, I'm gonna walk forward and go around the table.
Okay.
I want to see this man.
Okay. "Oh, my dear Kiki, we've never met, but I can certainly assure you I am more than privileged to meet you. I do apologize for your insightful connection being down, but we are very deep underground."
Are you human or not?
You watch. So Calamex,
Or not.
as you come around the table, you watch as the head kind of lifts up, and they're wearing very heavy kind of like goggles with interdispersed mechanisms that are entwining. They seem to have a pulled down respirator mask, so just their mouth is exposed. It's give me a perception check as you kind of pulse around.
15.
15. Hard to tell. Definitely male, based on the voice, the stature, and the way that they are kind of holding themselves. Can't tell if it's Terran or human. You're not really sure. He just kind of looks up at you and nods in your direction. "Please, if you will all please join me at the table. We have very many things to discuss as, well, you're definitely prime candidates, and we have not seen prime candidates in a very, very long time.
I look at Matt Cal and I said, I told you it was a test.
Oh, my boy, it was
I-
not a test, I assure you. But doesn't matter. Please, all of you, join me at the table.
I'm sorry, sir. I think you're mistaken. I didn't apply to be a candidate of anything.
Oh, you
What
don't.
happened to the others?
The others?
Yeah, what happened to the others? You said that others took days to get this far. What happened to them?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. I don't
Well-
sheath my bayonet while she asks.
I'm still in. What's his face's form?
Yeah, and
Sheehan's.
the question is, how many of you approach the table? Calamex is currently the closest to the table.
I'm
I'll
standing
approach-
near.
I'll approach and I
Although-
want to ask. So what is this job you actually want us to do?
Oh, my dear boy, it's quite all right. Let me answer Caldov's question first. If you do not qualify, we simply send you back. Now, to be fair, your memory is augmented. You will have no memory of what you saw, and you merely go back to your old life. There have been others that have made it this far, but they lack the moral conviction of the next step. And it has been a while since we've ever, well, had those willing take on what is required. And as
I
far
look
as
at it,
jobs go,
I-
Mr. McCallan,
Is required.
well, I mean, maybe required. I guess you do have some choice left in you.
Who's closest to me? Is it Caldov?
I'm still kind of back by the door. I didn't really come in that
Currently,
much further.
Calamex is the only one closest to the table. And Calamex, give me a quick perception check since you are that close to the table.
21.
21. The map that's on the table is strange to you. You've seen a lot of strange things today. This is probably the strangest thing you've ever seen. It looks to be a very long piece of paper, maybe about 4 or 5 feet in length, a couple feet in width. But as you stare at it, all the images are active. There's swirls of light. There's pinpoints of light. There's oscillating globes that hover and then kind of like in a gravitational way arc over and dip back into the paper. You watch as a very small globe rises and then puffs out of existence. You watch as like a swirling maelstrom of light hovers above the paper momentarily and then disappears back to the paper itself.
No idea. I'm not even going to guess.
Can I walk over to where Caldov is and kind of like hide behind him and try to look at this dude's face?
Calamex or Caldev?
Calamex.
So you kind of approach.
Calamex.
Yeah, go ahead and give me perception. Kiki.
Okay. Oh, not very good. I got 9.
9. I mean, you see pretty much the same thing I described for Calamex. Very like salt and pepper, long hair, wearing very like kind of intricate goggles, a respirator mask pulled below their mouth so you can only see their lips and their mouth move. Wearing a heavy leather engineer smock, simple white shirt, leather pants, boots.
So based on that description, I'm gonna come out from behind Calamex and go closer and go really, really close and kind of like look.
You watch as he just kind of leans up away from the table and goes, "You are a strange one. I was told that you would be strange, and you have definitely fit the bill."
You're the strange one. I don't even know who you are. I'm trying to get a
You
better
watch
look.
as he lifts his goggles up and away and onto his forehead. You can see one very green eye and one very blue eye. He does not look familiar to you, but looks to be a middle-aged individual.
I'm gonna exclaim, "Oh, your eyes are beautiful!"
Oh,
What about me? Does he look familiar to me?
No, he doesn't look familiar to you at all either.
How are
I
his
told him
ears?
He's beautiful.
How are his ears?
From your position, random, unless you move closer, you can't really tell.
No, I'm standing next to Caldove.
So now, well,
I'll
Caldove,
start moving closer.
yeah. So at this point,
I moved a little bit. I'm gonna kind of
Okay.
slowly, keeping my distance, but get closer and get around to the front so I
I'm
can see.
gonna
the
For-
try to touch his chin. like kind of like touch his chin and go like this.
does this
You know,
make
so I can see.
does
so I
this
can see
make
his
me
face
more
better.
does this make me more real, dear? Do I look real now to you?
I'm just gonna look at his face like, you're beautiful.
Oh,
We're gonna check his
Motherfucker.
teeth.
Wait,
now.
this mother. He just said, "Does this make me look real?"
I'm just interested in his eyes because one is green and one is blue. I've never seen this before.
well, it's a genetic issue, I assure you. I believe you refer to us as parents, I believe. For those that are newcomers, we're often referred that way.
So you are human, sir? Can I have your name, please? And I'm still holding his chin like this.
Can I trust that?
You watch as he kind of picks his chin up off your hand, and he raises his hand, and you feel this force kind of press against you and kind of move you back a few feet. I know your kind is not very familiar with etiquette, so I will let that one ride. But learn quickly, Kiki. I advise that.
I mean,
Oh,
stop
it's good
touching his
stuff.
face.
Caldev, please.
You're
Not
so
required.
beautiful.
And
You're
there's
so
a snap
polite
of his
when I touch your
fingers,
face.
and your illusion drops.
Can
You're
I
talking to
see
me
what
for it. I'm
type
not
of?
gonna lie.
Wait, does that mean she doesn't look human anymore?
I look like I did before. I think.
No, you don't. You're in your true
Oh.
form.
I lean
Can
in and then I
I-
say, "Is this the real you?"
Can you describe it?
No.
I say,
You say
looks
no?
nice.
Can you describe what you look like now?
Give me a deception check, Caldo. Let's see how well you can pull that off.
I also want to see if I can tell what type of magic he used to dispel all of my everythings. You said deception 9.
Yeah, she's lying out her ass.
I say, cool, but I think it looks nice.
Thank you.
That's like what
Um,
Magneto
wait,
said,
wait. Question.
The real Raven.
So,
I want to see the real Kelda. I said the real Kelda.
Ah, perfection.
DM, does this guy like breathe like he's a high casting wizard type of
He's a
deal for
human,
me?
though.
It doesn't matter.
How would you determine that? What in your mind would you use to figure that out?
Remember, I was tortured for a very long time.
Fair.
Humans that embody the amount of, and what I've seen in the human world now for what passes for wizardry, which would be people who hide it now more than anything, because for some reason magic is bad.
It's
for
not
a
that
lot of
magic,
people.
and I would stipulate, not that magic is bad. It's just that with the rise of the purity movement, magic's
It's
been
taboo.
Yeah, it's become more taboo than anything else. There are communities throughout the world that practice it quite fervently, but once again, magic is still kind of in an in-between space because it's channeled through the door that's remained open. Where that door is and how it's controlled, no one really knows, but the newcomers...
Does he scream mage? Like, to me, like, when I look at him with what he just did, like the display of high level magic that he did to Caldov.
Go ahead and give me an
That's-
insight check.
I'm also investigating, and I'm going to do like Arcana, I guess, to see if it was an arcane.
You can do Arcana
Sit.
for
Snap
that.
the
Yep.
fingers.
Also,
said
do I
insight,
trust
right?
that?
Yeah, insight for Calmex, Arcana for
Do I
Caldo.
trust him? Do I trust him when he says he's human? That sounds weird.
He told me he's
Um,
Terran. I said human.
No, he said he's human. No.
No, he
Said he's
described
Terran.
himself
I said
as
that.
Terran.
Yeah, he said
Yeah,
I am
yeah, Terran. I mean,
Terran, and he was talking to me, so. you know.
22.
22 for you, Calmex. Caldev, what'd you get?
I got a 16.
16. His ease of use of magic is definitely interesting. His behavior, his relaxed nature to you, Calamex, is a similar level of confidence that you see in anyone that can either potentially wield great power or clearly has the answers to all the questions that they may proffer up. This person is very much in control. There's no maliciousness in his behavior, but there is a sense that he's done this many times before.
I read about this man. I know who he is.
Calamex takes a few steps back from the table. He's
Okay.
He doesn't initially, like, in his face, he doesn't show fear, but if you look deeper into it, he's afraid. He's very, very deeply afraid.
I bow.
Can I,
I just bow and I ask him, "Are you Merlin from the book?"
Funny you should mention that. That is a name I've gone by before, but I try not to use that one much anymore.
So I'm in the middle of bowing. I'm just motioning to everyone, "Hey, bow! Merlin's a big deal." I don't know if you read the book with King Arthur, but
As you go to touch me, I'm not behind you anymore. I've taken quite a bit back from you.
I'm just.
Can I try to
motioning
read the
everyone to
fear?
bow. I'm just bowing to him. Merlin.
Mistress Kiki, in Terran we call that sarcasm.
I still haven't quite. I heard of that, but I don't quite
Yes.
get it. But
Yes.
sure. They don't have that in the China. They don't have that. They don't have that where I'm from.
As
So,
much as I
sorry.
enjoy all of your awkward tics and all of your introspective concerns about me, I can assure you, as Calamex said earlier, that I wanted you killed. That would have been easy enough. I offer up these insights for each one of you to determine why you think you are here. And you watch as he waves his hand over the table, and everything that you saw before in glimpses, Calamex, is now free floating up in the air as the entire concept of the universe is now floating all around you. Dozens of galaxies, Kiki, that you even recognize a couple of them. Planets swirling about, stars winking in and out of existence. And he merely turns to all of you and he starts with you, Random. Random, what do you think? What do you think gave it away in the room for you?
I sheathe my bayonet. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, let me offer you a brief glimpse. And he reaches over near you, and you watch as a thin silver strand gets pulled out of your head, and he throws it up in front of you. And it's you and Yodam having a conversation about the war. Interesting. Somebody served. Interesting that you had someone to speak with, don't you think? Hey, thanks, Jim. Appreciate that.
Yeah, where is Yoda, by the way?
Well, Random, let's take a deeper look. He reaches to you again, and another silver thread. As you stare at this next image, it's probably the worst day of your life. It's 6 months into your tour, and it's the second day of the second battle of Verdun. The audio is disparaging in the sense that you can't hear the sounds, but as the image plays out around you, you begin to realize that you've buried this for some time, and you didn't even recognize it. As you watch your half-orc sergeant, Yodam, standing there before you, grilling you, and the two of you are talking tactics and understanding, and then the shell goes off. The image dissipates. It took you and your men almost an hour to find all of his parts, but yet there he was in front of you in that space, and you did not recognize him. What does that tell us about you, Random? How many hidden memories have you forgotten? How many things do you hide and stash? How much trauma can one actually survive?
Wow.
The space that you occupy now in between both moral and immoral activity, you are a survivor, Random. And a survivor is what I need right now. But be aware of your space. Understand that what you see may not always be what you mean. Things will use your mind and tear them apart before you could even understand the headspace that they are even involved in. Be wary of your past, Random. There is great strength in you. I feel it. I understand it. There is a fear of your own capability. Examine it. Take some time with it. And he turns away from you to look over at Calamex. Ah, the Ancient One.
I turn back and I turn away and I just start crying, but quietly.
Okay. Ah,
Put my hand on your back since you were right next to me. Pat your back a couple times
Calamex.
and then leave you alone.
So much talent, so much understanding of suffering and fear. Yet the first inclination of you is suspicion, duly warranted. But why suspicious of me? Where does that come from? Am I benefactor or am I malicious? Why the instant assumption that I mean you harm?
He doesn't. He just looks. He looks like he's going to answer, and he just doesn't.
You watch as the individual twists his hand and an image floats for all to see as the image of a mage is slowly dissecting a red dragon. This dragon is being torn apart while it lives so that this particular mage could study the effect, the individual sections of magic and incantations that it's trying to test out on this dragon form. You watch as a wing bone snaps, and you can hear that audible crack of bone and leathery flesh come apart. A quick spurt of dragon blood coming out. A audible scream of terror from the red dragon that's being butchered alive in order to test the magical natures of this mage. And then the image kind of fades out. The world.
Did the mage look at me at all, or no?
No.
Good.
The world is a terrible place. Bad things happen, but in the midst of the bad, there is always the possibility of good. Why do you suppose it is that you find it to be more comfortable with those that do bad things or on the edge of this moral crevice that you walk? You must know that your benefactor is not a moral man. You know this, correct?
He may not be moral, but the people that serve him and that I help, I can do much for. And he helps me with the research that I'm doing and has benefited the city more.
You watch as yet another image floats in front of you. The individual that you were treating on the bed, riddled with multiple gunshot wounds. You watch as the image rewinds. Back to the point when this person that you healed and helped due to your relationship with your benefactor is standing in the interior of a very small, rundown slum apartment. He is hovered over the bodies of 5 small children and 2 adults. The adult is half alive and manages to pull a pistol out and fire 5 shots at the individual who just murdered his family. The image goes back to where you heal this individual, and then the door slams as you leave. Now, not all things are well known from beginning to end. Sometimes somebody else's ending is your beginning. You can't know all things, Calamax. But the one thing you do know is your benefactor feeds off the death of others. Your benefactor is what they are for a reason, because they are good at what they do, manipulation, convincing others of loyalty, proving that to be loyal to him is somehow to be loyal to oneself. Calamax, your power is deep inside you. Your hate and your suspicion is equally as deep. But you still need to exercise these demons. The world is not a simple place. Putting categories upon all things, well, cheapens your own intelligence. You're gifted for sure. This team will need someone with your gifts. But be cautious of your past. There are things that would manipulate that. Use it for its own purpose. Be mindful. Be aware. He shifts from you to look at McAllen.
Do we see the images, or are you in each person's head?
No, everything is being played out in public for all of you to witness.
Everyone sees. Okay, so
Yeah.
we see everything that you were saying to Calamax. We see the images.
Correct. Because he's standing by the metal table, and all of you are in different positions
Right.
and variations nearby as this is all playing out. McAllen.
Can I say, I will kill him. I'm gonna kill your boss, Al Pacino or Al Capo, whatever. And I'm gonna make you work for me. And that's never gonna happen. Whatever they do, that's not gonna happen.
You hear Calamax. This guttural sound that's coming out of him is a deep perversion of what he truly is. And he just laughs in this evil tone. Human, you can never control me.
I don't care. But I'm gonna kill your boss. And I'm gonna fund your research.
You sure this dude is human? He says he's Terran, but he has technology that far exceeds this world. I don't believe it for 1 second.
I think, McAllen, let's discuss what you are and what you know. A newcomer coming to a world upon which you feel intent on being a part of whatever this is. Someone with very good investigative skills, but in between places, so willing to compromise, so willing to be a part of anything, to the point where you even risk dying to be subjugated to it. There's a problem with you, McAllen. The problem is you're less you, and you're more of what those things that want of you. And you watch as an image floats amongst all of you. And it kind of purposely floats near Calamax and purposely floats near Random, kind of stopping their mid-confrontation for just a moment. And all of you watch as there's the McAllen form standing amongst others wearing very neat suits and ties and wearing hats and surrounding chair that an individual is sitting on. This individual is a halfling in form, a halfling in figure. Badly mutilated face, broken arm, at least 3 or 4 fingers cut off, electrodes attached to their toes. And one of the people turns towards you, Mikkel, and says, "Well done bringing this one to us. We've been looking for this one for a while. You can go now." The image fades. So eager to please, so eager to jump in without truly understanding what one gets into. Well, dangerous to say the least for both you and those with you. Perhaps what we've learned tonight is caution, simplicity, understanding, clarity, balance. These are the things that are important and play in to someone of you having such a high understanding of intelligence and your skills at reading a room. You were so unbalanced from those injuries that it nearly took you the entire evening to figure out something that was clearly right there in front of you the whole time.
And I look at him and I say, look, I call it making the best of a situation that I've been put in. I didn't choose to come to this plane, and I didn't choose to go through the upbringing I had. And if you know anything about where I come from, not on the other side of the plane, but here, you understand that the choices I made were so I could survive. And no, there are a lot of things I'm not proud of.
Surviving isn't always living, but the fire in your belly with that response, McAllen, the fire that I need, that is your real voice. Use it. And he turns away from you to look at Kiki. Kiki, you are one of the most unique individuals that I have come across in well over 1,000 years.
You must have not met many people then.
Oh, I've met them all. But that's not...
Doubt it.
It's not really that important. The place that you come from sees us very uniquely. They see us in the space of a microscope underneath an eye, inquisitive in a petri dish. Bacteria and viruses to be examined, studied, and
Sorry,
well,
Merlin, you don't need to go on. What do you want?
what I want you to do, Kiki, is to become more human. The element missing from you is your ability to understand who we are. We are not lab rats in a cage. We are people.
Yeah, well, visit China and then tell me what you think after that.
Well, that is one of more and more challenging locations to be dealt with, but
See, told you.
fair enough. Caldove.
I have a feeling you're about to tell me what I need to do.
No, you have quite clarity in understanding what you need to do. Your panache with illusions and trickery and your skills on the street keep you safe, keep you undeterred from your focus. That kind of focus I think we all could use. But I will tell you this. There are certain groups you should completely avoid, and the Order of Purity is definitely one of them. They will destroy your kind just as soon as look at you. And that brings me to my final note. The 5 of you are here for a very specific reason. I need you. Well, I need you. I would describe the world needing you, but what they understand and what they know is irrelevant at this point. And you watch as he brings his hands up and the entire cavern begins to light up all around you. Frozen in little globules of amber are thousands and thousands of individual people, just frozen in time and space. Little, like an amber globule kind of floats by a young woman dressed in medieval attire, kind of frozen in this amber-like bubble. He watches another one floats by, and it's the strangest vision you've ever seen. It appears to be a human of some sort, but they're wearing very strange garb that you don't recognize. They have like a helmet with a glass shield over the front of it. They're strapped with a very kind of like unique looking rifle across their chest, and the globule kind of moves by. Then another globule comes by, and another. The span of humanity, Terran humanity, comes and goes in front of this person. You are in the halls of the Descendant. In here is an individual that once served us before the doorway was open, before the first coming of the plague, before the Great One walked the surface of this place that we call Earth. We were an organization that sought our best to keep humanity alive. We failed miserably. To protect all those involved, they are here. Now, a new situation has arisen within the last 10 years. That little test that I offered up to you is going to happen. No matter what we do, it's going to happen.
You know.
And it's going to happen in a week's time. Now, my hope is all of you can figure it out before it happens. But before we do that, to be a member of this council, to be a member of this order, there's a requirement. You must pick a descendant. There is someone here that you must pick, and they will become a part of you. That final challenge, the willingness to take on a second embodiment within yourself, fully sentient, fully understood, and fully aware, but will be in your mind. And there are thousands to choose from.
Question: are the Descendants Terran?
They're all Terran, correct.
Oh yes. Okay, I'm willing for this. I'm down for this. I would love to have a question in my mind.
Now,
Like taking
that-
notes, this would be great. Like,
that is the deal. Now, you are all free to accept the augmentation, walk away. Your memories will be wiped, and you will go to your old lives knowing none of this. You will continue to be who you are, going down the paths that you have chosen. I will not interfere with that if the choice is made. However, I'm going to take on this responsibility, become a member of the Truth Seekers under the guidance of the Council of Unity, and aid this world in defending itself and keeping itself safe. That is another option as well. You've more than proven as a team you're very capable. The deciphering of the particular points of clues and understanding of what we set up was quite adept. Courage to step through an illusionary door and into a portal of teleportation to bring you here to the Cavern of the Descendants means that you have what it takes to understand the importance of what you must do. But this one action that will happen 7 days from now, there are many paths that lead you there, and there are many paths that lead you away from there after the fact. The world is changing dramatically. But it's your choice. your desires. There is no abduction of free will. These are your choices. And you watch as
they
he
call that communism.
you watch as he steps away from the table and he begins to fracture.
Whoa.
And as he fractures, the illusion dissipates off him. And then standing there in perfect scientific awareness, all of you are familiar with his picture. And then a German accent. I have been working on this for a very long time. Once I was able to prove the theory of relativity in time and universe stream, I knew that this was possible. I am very old, but this shell must expire soon, and then I will pick another descendant.
Oh,
And I
God,
will-
it's time.
And you
I
watch
was
as
thinking,
his,
I was like, what the heck?
as his tall white hair, grayish brownish, kind of pushed back, his kind of like pointed chin, his rough eyebrows, his disheveled look. But no, go through all these things and do what you must have done. Must have some importance. What it tells me is that someone here in this cavern wants to be a part of you. Senses something in you. Can feel your power. For 10 years, I've been studying the other side. For 10 years, I've been looking over the books of the Truth Seeker. This gate has been open before. It had introduced the plague back in the 12th century. I knew it was possible. Finding those books were the most important thing in my life. And becoming a member, second most important thing. But to know this, to be a member does not guarantee you immortality. You could come back and choose another form if you choose to. You could come back and become a descendant if you choose to. These are all choices you can make. I chose to become a descendant. I will join the thousands of others so that in the future they can call upon me when they need my help. Because humanity is just not Terran, Furbog, Nymph, Dragon, E.T. You prefer E.T. or actually, we'll have to talk about that later. Or Terran. We are people. We're a form of humanity together. We make up this amazing stew that offers so much to the world. We hide ourselves from it. I offer you a chance and an opportunity to be a part of what makes up our future. I hope you take it, but I'll understand if you don't. You watch as the fractured illusion replaces
No, I have a question.
Einstein's visage,
No.
and it's that simple, plain-looking engineer look. Now, question that I can answer
Yeah.
for you.
Who are you?
I am the choice that Mr. Einstein made. I was born in the year 1482. I had a knack with blacksmithing tools. I lived for about 30 years. I joined the Truth Seekers after their failure and became a
It's Christopher
descendant.
Columbus.
I have a question. Descendants of whom?
Humans.
We are the timeline. We are the very nature of what humanity was, what it wanted to become, and what we hope to become. There are both future, past, present. There are many descendants here.
Do you consider yourself an explorer?
I consider myself a creator, a maker of things.
Are you Da Vinci?
30-year life.
30-year life. You're not
Da Vinci.
Jesus, are you?
No, 1482.
1482, 30-year lifespan.
1,500
There's a
years too
blacksmith.
late.
I want to know who this guy is.
Knowing
I
who
digress.
But is this the same illusion as the man that we walked in with? So he still has the salt and pepper hair.
Yep, same illusion.
Same illusion.
When you master your awareness of your descendant, you are able to control their form or your own form. Once that mastery is instilled within you, you are essentially two people. This is the ultimate power of the Descendants, the ability to graft themselves onto a living form and eventually allow you to choose whichever one you would like to be for a period of time. Now, I have been fortunate enough to be chosen by Master Einstein here, and, well, needless to say, his wit and wisdom and intelligence, he's been able to control me quite well, and we are free to interdisperse and interplay off each other all we want. When he wants to hide and be subjective in his studies and understanding of the world, calls me forth. His engineering mind is quite advanced. I find it refreshing.
So I have a question.
Now's the
This has to
time.
happen. This has to happen. How does this happen? Explain the process.
You merely step into the hall of the Descendant. You think about what you would like, and then one will pick you. This is how it's been done for almost 1,000 years.
Where's the hall of the Descendant? Like did he point at it, or
We're in it.
This is it.
or we're actually in it?
And
So, yeah,
looking
we're in the
and
hall
looking up,
cavern of
you
the
could see
Descendant.
just thousands of these amber globules that contain all manner of different people.
How
I
many
want-
people in total? Is it just one descendant at one time?
82,195.
To choose from, how many can you choose at one time?
Well, your thoughts tell them how to choose you.
So they choose us, and we just think about what we want, and then the descendant will manifest.
That is one way of describing it, yes.
Okay. Well, I'm in.
Can I start thinking as he's explaining this all?
Mm-hmm.
May we converse with the descendants before the joining?
That is up to them. That is a very insightful question. That is up to them.
Yeah, good job.
I'd like to think of a person who is tortured, but wants to do great good for the world and bestowed some sort of great science or healing or medicine to the world.
Yeah.
Like someone who has the same goals as me, because my current goal is to cure the Spanish flu, and that's what I want to distribute to the world. That's what I want as my current legacy, even though I know I'll do more, but this is my foothold. This is what I want the most.
So if we take on a descendant, then do we have to come here and become a descendant?
That is still a freedom of choice. When you come here, the descendant that was with you will return to the hall. You then have the choice to become one or stay as you are.
And how long is this?
That is up to you.
Guessing it's for the rest of our lifespan. I have another question. My lifespan is much longer than Terran. How does this work for me?
Well, there's assumption that life goes on forever when it's seen through the eyes of someone like you. But all choices have consequence. All choices lead you down paths that could terminate your life. Who's to say that this isn't that choice? Who's to say if you choose to do this, you will die. Who's to say if you choose not to do this, you will die? You assume that you will live a long life and continue to live it as an assumption that you think true at this point in time.
I'm ready. Can I do this yet? Or
Yeah, I want to do this.
So Kiki and Calimax, you're kind of starting to think about what you want to do. Is everybody in at this point?
I'm in,
think,
but I'm going to
what the
speak
hell?
to my descendant before I join.
Okay. Random, McAllen?
I say, what the hell?
Random?
Sure.
sure. why
So,
not?
you watch as he claps his hands together and the
Wait,
entire
no,
hall
it's very-
lights up. You watch as the table dissipates. The swirling energy of the universe spreads out beyond all the amber encasements that hold. And then looking up, you watch as the massive void above you lights up. And there's just thousands of these amber encasements that disappear out into this void-like space. Your feet are now standing on the swirling maelstrom of a galaxy. You're no longer standing on earth and stone. You are now someplace else, but you're not really sure where. You can feel this pulse of energy coursing through all of you. Who wants to pick first?
I'm down for whatever. I just,
So,
I really want
Calimax.
this. I want a human in my mind.
No, I pointed at Kiki.
oh, okay. So,
Well, thank you,
Kiki,
Calimax.
describe for me the thoughts and interpretations of the kind of person that you'd like to join you.
Okay, so I'm thinking of someone who is very influential in history, like either a warlord or something like that. Maybe someone like Genghis Khan. Anyone who's just very smart, ruthless, powerful, charismatic, persuasive. Someone who makes friends easily. A people person who understands the emotions, desires, and aspirations of people and knows how to manipulate others, because I certainly don't. And to have someone like that in my mind who truly understands people and what they want and how to get to them, that would be key for me to understanding people. If the other person in my mind truly understands everyone around them. And
All of you watch as the maelstrom stops. You watch as the amber encasements begin to swirl and spin. You watch as an amber encasement begins to drop down towards Kiki and hover nearby. Kiki, you look into this amber encasement and you see a male individual with a very long white and gray speckled beard down to here. You see a great kind of breadth of shoulder, arms thick as tree trunks. You could see a series of Celtic and other styles of tattoos fashioned across their body, up their neck, through the back of their head, and down the front of their face. You see two great Viking warrior axes on either side of their shoulder. And you hear a voice in your head. What are we to do? What are we to do? You call me.
Dude.
Why do you call Ragnar like this? What do we do? Why have you brought Ragnar back? I have been
Ragnar?
asleep for so long. Who is this? I'm not even sure what you are. Why are you picking me? Speak!
Hi, sir. I would like to know about humans, and you seem to know a lot about humans.
I know how to kill them. I know how to make them do what I want them to do. What is this good? Why is this good to you? What do you know of humans? You're not even
Nothing.
one of us. Why do you call me? Why do you think I am the one to fit inside your pretty little head?
Because I can learn much from you, and I don't think you've ever met anyone from Mbop. So I think it'll be interesting for you too. You look like someone who would appreciate a good adventure.
Give me a persuasion roll, please.
Oh, it's pretty good. Let me see. 17.
All of you watch as the amber encasement fractures. And as it fractures, the form disappears and a small little thin strand of light just connects itself with Kiki. This is a very small place in between your ears. I can see nothing. I can sense nothing. Oof. You don't even have a chance at being human, but we'll play it your way. We'll figure this shit out. Now, I want to eat and I want to fuck. Where do we go?
You know what? Whatever you want. We can eat. We can.
Oh, and by the
fuck.
way, if you go near any snakes, I will give you diarrhea for sure. Stay away the fuck from snakes.
Whoa! Don't do that.
Don't like
Okay,
snakes.
You know what?
I fucking hate snakes.
Whatever your heart's desire, we'll do. Cause I'm here to know more about you.
And what's interesting
Let's
is
do
the individual then kind of laughs as all of you hear her say this out loud, but you can't hear the voice that she's attuned
Oh,
to.
so I'm just talking. I'm like, we'll eat and we'll fuck.
Basically, nothing new.
I'll fuck whoever you want.
I would
Speaking to yourself
definitely,
the whole time.
I would definitely advise that you, as you mature your relationship with your descendant, that you learn the art of deception. There are many hospitals full of people that yell at themselves.
Ah.
So, Kiki, you have chosen. I hope you have chosen wisely. It is your choice to keep to yourself. If you share your information, that is up to you. And know this, as you mature with this choice that you've made, you can be able to call upon that person to be you if required. But,
So I could switch my physical form?
yes, but
Oh dear. Wow.
be cautious and invoke it sparingly. It is quite taxing until you master it.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
who would like to go next?
I'll go next.
How
So
though?
fun.
Terrifying. I don't know what to think of.
I'm so excited.
All right. I'm going to think of an artist.
Okay.
Someone who has a perspective, an eye for not necessarily detail, but can tell a story through their art. Who understands how to approach the blank canvas, whether it's an actual canvas or whatever it is, and can convey their ideas through their art.
As you
That's not what I
stand
got.
there, thinking about this very diminutive voice kind of appears in your head. Oh my. Been a while for me. Oh, you like to write books too. I love writing books. Books are fun. They're a great way for us to pass information to each other, tell stories. What's your name?
I go by Keldov.
Oh, my name is Jane Austen. Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Yes, I see that you really enjoy writing books. Perhaps we can discuss with one another as how to be better writers.
I would like that.
Ah, good. By the way, I've never been chosen by your kind before. How does it feel? It doesn't feel strange to me, but I find you interesting. Your form is different than forms I'm used to. Are you
This changing forms is not new to me, but this is new. I normally don't converse with who I change into.
Oh. Something about you I sense. There's a nature of magic here. Do you know magic?
I'll show you.
And you don't even need to make a persuasion check. She is all in. You watch as it shatters, the thin tendril of light. And then without even really understanding why, you're kind of casting little illusions in your hand of like ponies and unicorns. Oh.
I'll make a glass of water. I'll out of water. I'm assuming that I'll just
Yeah.
have that and take a sip out of my glass of water.
We're gonna tell some amazing stories. All right, who wants to go next?
Can I go last?
Mm-hmm.
I'm already thinking of one. If McAllen isn't ready.
I can go.
Okay.
I'll go.
Callan, the void fans above you. The maelstrom stops as you begin to think your thoughts. What are you thinking about? What is your...
So I'm thinking of someone similar to myself, a good investigator, but with the conviction that I wish I had and the drive that I wish I had. To try and find the truth no matter what, as I have been worn down with all of these different jobs that I've taken and kind of lost my own direction.
Well, I do say, who are you? And why are you thinking these thoughts? There's a connection between us. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I like your insights. I like the cut of your jib. You remind me of my friend Dr. Watson. You're very interesting, to say the least. You have a military mind. What makes you think that we can do wonders together?
Well, sir, I have been driven my entire life to seek out the mysteries that elude many others. Having a partner in this investigation, well, may just be the push I need.
Push you need. Well, go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
$18.
Well, it's a push you need, dear. I can certainly accommodate. And you watch as it cracks the tendril. And then the next thing you feel this insatiable urge to get extremely high. And you have this urge to eat fish and chips. Now, Belle, tell me, dear boy, where can we go?
Racist.
Where can we go to get a little bit of the opium and, the nosh? Where can we go and get some fish and chips? I'm just wondering, because I always work best when I'm at my full speed. And like his voice is going and going and going and going and going. But at the same time, there's an intellectual connection, that drive, that kind of like forceful need to constantly know and perceive, know and perceive and know and perceive. And suddenly just these huge avenues of understanding just bring you into this place of self-contemplation that you've never been in. And everything you could possibly know about 17th, 18th century 19th century England is pouring into your mind. Everything that you could possibly know. And it drifts in and out in great chasms of knowledge. And suddenly you have a craving for fish and chips. Now, my dear boy, don't worry. The opium high wears off quickly. It's only on occasion. I use it most to manifest my focus and my study. And with that, you guys can see it, McCallan. Something's definitely going on, McCallan. So that leaves Calamex. You're up next.
Yep. Calamex thinks of a warrior doctor. Someone who is not afraid to get under fire, essentially, to get to someone he needs to help. Someone who had great influence over the world and cured some sort of great disease or great wound to the world. Someone who has a drive for medicine, but at the same time will always understand the necessity of life and death.
The maelstrom stops. The great amber globules begin to rotate and shift. All of you notice that the goggles are still up on the forehead of the illusionary form of whoever this person is. They've never really offered it up. Looks at Calamex and looks, and then watches as a particular ambular globule begins to drop. And then he stops it momentarily, and then he looks over at you and Calamex, and he goes, "Are you sure about this choice?"
Yes.
Takes a deep breath. This will be fucking interesting, to say the least. You watch as the globule begins to drop. You hear a French accent in your head. Who has called moi? Why have you called me? Why am I here? Huh? Who are you? And as this globule drops down beside you, the short brown, dark brown beard, a strange kind of lopsided hat, educational garments of an individual from possibly the turn of the 16th century. Who are you? And why have you called me here?
I am known as Calamex. I've called you to help me push forward into influencing and causing a great amount of healing for the world.
I have much great power in me. You have much great power in you. Sense that. There's like a strange smile on the still figure's face within the amber. But I'm not sure I understand if this union benefits me or benefits you. Not sure. Give me a persuasion check.
Persuasion. Oh.
What'd you get?
10.
Got a 10? Perhaps you should explain to me some more why you think I am important to you. Tell me, if I give you the ability to predict the way I can, why? Why me? Why do you pull me down from my long sleep? Not even human pick me. You are not human. You are one of them. Give me another persuasion roll at disadvantage. Or, no, another persuasion roll, higher DC this time. What'd you get?
19. I got nothing else on it, though. I got 0 in persuasion.
Well, the first DC was a 12. The second one was an 18. You feel the voice kind of cool for a moment. Ah, a newcomer of great age. You have the power and the gifts as well. I like it. You can work with and you watch as the fracture comes apart, and this tendril of light kind of absorbs into you. Ah, there's much power here. I like the fact there's much power here. What is your name? What is your true name? The name of your egging.
Hello, Mastis. Medistine.
Ah. Ha 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 ha. You are honest with me? I shall be honest with you. My name is Nostradamus. Know that I wield great power, and we will do works together. We will do works together.
Astrologer.
Astrology. Interesting. He's a physician too, though, and he can see the future.
Well, he's considered a master alchemist. He's considered a seer. He's considered. He was at the heart of many attempts at the recurrence of the Black Plague during the 16th century. He's a good figure for you. I like this one.
Oh, dude.
Random.
He wrote a book about prophecies. Like, this guy's awesome.
Random.
I don't know much about him, so I'm gonna actually be able to do some research.
I didn't think he was militant, but yeah, I mean, I guess.
I don't know.
Well,
I mean, with
militancy and fanaticism aren't that far separate.
Yeah. He was definitely a fanatic.
And fanatics are often militant.
I love how, like, the guy who has, he's just like, are you sure?
Random, you are up.
All right. I'm gonna think about what I've always wanted my entire life. And think about a person who has all of that. And so I want to think about the most insignificant person with the most boring life who has kids and a pretty basic, solid job and does nothing too significant and dies happy, surrounded by family. And yeah, nothing too exciting. Never been to any war, never in any trouble with the law. Just nice and boring.
Awesome. So as you step up, there's a pulse of light, and at first no globules drop, and then way off in the distance one comes down. All of you have high enough passive perception where you can see a very inquisitive look on the face of Einstein's descendant. Really? Well, he's never been called on before, but does have an engineering mind at the very least. Yeah. As the globule kind of drops and hovers next to you, the amber swirl is around you, and there's a voice in your head. Hello? Yeah? What?
Hello.
Why me? I mean, I was devoted, but I'm pretty insignificant. I mean, I don't know if I can help.
You could, I think you'll be a lot of help.
Well,
Um,
I mean, I'm pretty inventive. I invented some things. Not a lot, but some cool stuff that I thought people could use. And,
I don't think I need any of that.
Oh,
Um,
what do you need?
when we have time, you could tell me about your kids and your wife and your family. I'd like to know about that.
Sure. Yeah. What's your name?
Uh, my name's Random, but you could call me Dummy.
I used to get called that a lot too. I understand. My name's Thomas. Thomas Crapper. It's good to meet you.
Hey, Thomas. I like your last name.
Ah, yeah. Well, it's what I invented. I invented the toilet.
Whoa.
Oh!
Not too many people care or know about me. They just, they call it the crapper, because, that's funny as shit. But hey, I like you.
I like you too, Thomas.
Thanks, Buffy, for the follow. Appreciate it. Well, anyways, and you watch as it shatters, the tendril awkwardly attaches to you. He goes, did you know that when you study plumbing and you think about fittings, and it's funny, the idea of a place to put your poop was never really a thing, and I used to take my wife hated it. I would watch her go poop because I was trying to get an understanding. Is there a difference between the way a girl's ass sits on the toilet and a guy's ass? Should I build a different size? Should I do this? These are the things you got to think about, the details that matter, the logistics. The shit's got to go somewhere. Can't just go in a bucket.
The grinders when the pipe's too small.
You're pretty smart, Thomas.
No, not really. Not that smart. Just, who wants to shit out in a hole in the woods anymore? It gets old after a while, right?
That's true.
But I got to be honest with you. I have a horrible gambling addiction. I love to gamble.
Oh,
Do you like to gamble?
I'm okay.
Oh. Well, I could teach you.
I try not to.
I'm super lucky. Super lucky.
I mean, I own an establishment. Maybe you could have some fun there.
Ah, yeah. That sounds neat.
I got you, man.
With that, you watch as the lights all descend away. Cavern goes back to normalcy. The table comes back in front of the Descendant, and then the Descendant's illusion pulses out, and Einstein reappears. Now, let us discuss the best way to approach, well, let us discuss how we could maybe save the world and a president while we're at it. And that's where we're going to end tonight. So I will have profiles that I'm working on now that I know who you picked. I got to tell you, Thomas Crapper seems perfect for you, Random. Absolutely perfect for you.
Dude, I knew who it was too, but Random wouldn't know.
Random probably doesn't have a clue. Random probably still shits in a bucket.
No idea. But Richard
That
knew.
was a real thing. I thought you made that
Richard
shit
knew.
up.
Oh
I
no,
knew
Thomas Crapper's a
Crapper.
real deal.
Yeah.
The only ones I knew were Jane Austen and Sherlock Holmes.
Dude, Homeboy's a legend.
Well, but it's like no one really ever really thinks about the toilet that way. It kind of matched your kind of normal with just one little thing that made him part of that allowed him to be a devotee of the truth seekers. So I was like, yeah, that works.
I'm okay with that.
I'm curious about how you thought. Did you have a big list of people first, and then based on our descriptions, you picked?
So what I did is I went into a series of timelines. So the truth seekers have been around for over 1,000 years, right? So since it's technically 1927, I went back to the year 900 and then did a timeline of personalities from there and just kind of clumped them in what I thought you might pick. And then based on your descriptions, I pulled from those random groups of 20 each. Because, I already had a feel for your characters anyways, and I kind of felt the test also gave me a little bit more insight in how to augment the proof of the Descendants, right? The whole theory behind the Descendants is we feed off of the previous understandings of humanity that makes us better and better and better and better. There are some interesting Descendant choices that I did have Genghis Khan in there.
Yeah,
Um,
I
I had Charlemagne in there.
Ooh, okay,
I
that's a big
had
one.
Lionheart, Richard the Lionheart. I also had Richard Longshanks in there as well.
Oh no, that's not good.
I had William Wallace in there, I believe. Yeah, because that was after 900. So yeah. Oh, did we lose somebody? Who do I lose? Oh, me. We lose me?
Uh-oh.
I think that might have been me.
Yeah,
it was
everything
you.
froze
Your
for a
sound went
minute.
out for a second.
Yeah, it might have been me or
Sorry, Twitch
Discord.
people.
Sorry, folks, but that's all right. We have we're at a milestone, so everyone gets to level up. You've picked your descendants, so that was the very first milestone. So I know it's early on in the campaign, but that was a major milestone. I wasn't sure how many episodes we're going to waste in the test because you never know, right? I mean, that could have gone on a whole nother session for all I know. But the milestone was set that once you picked your descendant, that became your next level of ascension. So we're all good there.
So did all of the things that I took from that room, did they disappear when we left the room?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
They did.
All of my things disappear. I lost the passport. I lost the books.
All of those were
Oh, you lost all
aggregate.
the books?
Yeah.
No way!
Lost the books and the diagrams,
I
but I did get
pretty
to keep
much-
Mam's spell book.
Yes, you
I
did.
She was a
stole
real
those books
person.
for you.
She was real.
I was like, let's put these books in here. They're gone? No.
Yeah, we lost the books.
Oh.
I'm assuming I lost the pendant on the goblin thing, but
All right,
Man's
everybody.
spellbook.
Thank you for coming out and watching this very strange game that we're playing right now. I hope you enjoyed it. Very different. And like I always say, please be safe. Try to be kind. Things are getting difficult again. And do this. Play a game. It's lots of fun. It will help. Trust me. Play a game. Good night, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Good night.